Are we awesome? We're going live.
Scenes
The
come.
hangout is live. So hey guys, what's up, man? This is Max from thatbloggingthing.com, and we're doing another exclusive interview. I got a good friend of mine, another co-founder of Team in the Black here, Mr. Matt Dillingham, Matty D, the Unlikely Marine. MattDillingham.com. You want to say what's up, Matt?
What's going on? What's going on, people? Max, thanks for the interview, man. I appreciate the time. Coming out and helping fill out some value out there. And quick correction, it's MatthewDillingham.com, not
Sorry
Matt.
about that. It is Matthew. It's not just Matt. It's Matthew
Forgot the
Dillingham.
few in there. So yeah, they go to Matt Dillingham like, wait a minute, this doesn't exist. So
This
it's
isn't
just
this
you.
guy. Which may make you want to actually buy that URL. But so basically, Matt, and we were discussing this before. The whole purpose behind this, just starting this little one-on-one kind of interview thing was to help people, not just well in the team and people that we work with, kind of tell their story. So that people get to know them a little bit better, because realistically, when we do the hangouts and stuff, the hangouts are a little bit more just like training oriented for the team, and I just think that people get a lot of benefit from actually hearing people's stories. You know what I mean? From kind of knowing where they come from. I mean, obviously, you and I, met online and then in person, and we've done a lot of cool stuff together. But not everybody knows yet, and I want
Yeah.
people that are going to be working in the team and joining the team, and just people that maybe signing up with you to basically get to know who Matt Dillingham is. So who are you, Matt Dillingham, and what do you do?
Who am I? Well, start with who am I? Because not many people know my story, where I started, how I got to where I am in this um, in this whole game we call entrepreneurship, the home business niche, or life in general is my own path. So let's kind of take it back a little bit. So let's go back to about 2006, 2007. I was a full-time student in college, University of Maryland, College Park. So I'm mature. I was also just gotten into the Marine Corps Reserves. I was doing that part-time while I was in school. So I was in the whole 90-day reservist thing where I did boot camp first, and then did second round training the following summer, and then third part the following summer after that, and then doing the whole 2 week ATs. So it was around the spring or so of my spring break of like my sophomore year of college or so. I seen this ad talking about I don't remember exactly what it said, but it talked about making money from home, and I kind of perked my interest a little bit and as to what it was all about. And the guy that I met with in my hometown, he was a former Marine, so instantly it was like, hey, I trusted him, we connected, and the funny thing was it was for an illegal business called cash gifting. I didn't know it was legal at the time, but I persevered through it, and got leads, got hung up on, and the funny thing was I didn't have success, but it taught me at the same time that that I want to work for myself, that I want to go down the road of being an entrepreneur. But it's funny how life can teach you that lesson from weird ways, be it legally or illegally, going from there. So from there, that started the process of trying different businesses to online, offline, from one MLM to the next MLM, Amway, Ameriplan, from all that, and just learning more about myself and still trying to figure out this game, how to have success, how do you make sales, and really not knowing how to market, which is the thing that a lot of people lack the skill of, but they don't know it. And it's true, you don't know what you don't know. At the time, I didn't know that, so I was doing what everyone else was telling me to do, hit up family and friends and try going online, just posting ads everywhere and not knowing what to do. And the funny thing is, not the funny thing, at the same time that I was trying to do this, my personal life was just going to hell because at the time I had a bad relationship with my parents. I had been kicked out of my mom's house, so I got involved in the military, and then at one point was kicked out of my dad's house. This is right in the middle of the crisis of 2008, where I remember my dad gave me an ultimatum where he knew how I was heavy into pre legal. I wasn't in school at the time, and he wrote this letter. I remember this moment very well. I woke up, I came home one morning from work or something, saw this letter. It said, "Son, I love you, but I know that sometimes you need to be pushed and you need motivation. So I'm giving you 30 days to one, to get a job, to spend time with gunnery sergeant. I forget the guy's name, for some recruiter. Go on interviews. I want you reporting him. I want to hear from you. I want you to make 2 grand in commissions for pre-legal. And if you don't do it, I'll be forced to put yourself outside the house after 30 days. So in that
Damn,
moment,
that's a hell of an ultimatum right there.
yeah. So, but here's the thing about me. I'm a stubborn SOB and persistent. I don't like being told what to do. So I saw that letter and I thought, this is complete utter bullshit. I'm not lazy. I don't want to be pushed, because at the time I was doing my own thing. I was heavy with pre-legal, and the thing was, like, everything in my life was going to hell. Like, I was in a lot of debt. I had debt collectors calling me. My car was almost repossessed. I had stopped paying like my car note. So it gets worse. So basically, what happened was I chose to move out. I told my friends, they offered me a place to stay. So basically, from like 2008 till 2012 was like a crap period of my life financially and personally, where I was basically homeless. I was living from friend's house to friend's house to friend's house. I couldn't pay my bills. I couldn't even take care of myself. I had expired tags, driving with no car insurance. I could have been arrested any moment. Likewise, I had all these numbers calling up on my phone and always freaking out and thinking of, like, who is this number? Who are they going to call? And at one point, I almost got sued by a lawyer for not paying rent to fraternity that I owed money to. And I met him in person. Lucky worked with me. So I almost got like sued multiple times. Debt collectors. I was in just a constant state of worry, stress, constantly looking back, literally as I'm driving around, hoping and praying I'm arrested. Can't take care of myself. So it's a good moment where I felt like a loser, and something had to change. Where eventually, I even got to the point where I almost got evicted from a landlord who was stupid and tried to get my friend involved. But anyways, all this gets to a point where eventually I moved back with my dad, luckily, and then got a chance to move out through a friend of mine, and they helped me out with that. And it came down to the point where I was in a lot of debt, finally found a stable job, but I had so much student loans, debt collectors call after me, and this financial pressure that I had, where I had to do something. So finally, the beginning of 2013, at the age of 27, 29 now as I record this, I had to declare Chapter 7 bankruptcy at the age of 27. And that was an interesting moment in time where, one, I felt extreme relief. I felt more control. I felt like this is it. I'm gonna do this shit. I'm not letting this happen ever again. At the same time, though, I felt extremely embarrassed, ashamed. Like, how can this be? How can it happen to me? I'm only 27. I thought this stuff only happened to people who are like, let's say early 40s, late 50s, people when they got a lot more around the line. Well, I'm 27, and this is happening to me. And it was very hard to talk about this with some of my close friends. I didn't tell my parents, even though my dad found out. I didn't say anything because I felt really ashamed. But at the same time, though, the way I would talk about it, I'd be like, yeah, man, I'm declaring bankruptcy, F my debt, I'm at a party, which I did. I threw a party for it. 4 months later, I got wasted, But it's true. On the surface, though, it was like I was happy about it, but below was like, oh, it's a shame, because one of my best friends was like, Matt, like, you're 27, how can this happen to you, blah, 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 like, what you need to be your credit? I was like, look, my credit's going to be fine, it resets, all this other crap, but I still felt like I was behind the eight ball, and it's behind everyone in the whole world. And so I had taken a break from the whole home-based business thing, and still trying this credit repair. That stopped that because the person I was with was like a scammer and stealing people's money, and he would charge them, they would call him and not know what was going on. So basically, for me, I came to a point where it's like, okay, I just declared bankruptcy, so I had a fresh start, and this is a point in my life where I was like, okay, it's time to do things differently. It's time to change stuff. What can I do? I don't want to be working for someone else for the rest of my life. It's not what I'm meant to do. It's not what I want to do. I want to create change. I want to make things happen. Period. It was around this time that I had seen a friend of mine in Jordan and his mentor named Chris, who were doing making money online and living a lifestyle that they wanted to live. Like, Chris was able to go snowboarding wherever he wanted to, go to the mountains, and ended up buying a new car, and just basically he was living the life that he wanted to live. He had what he wanted. He was able to create what he wanted and live a life that was seemed to be, there's less stress, Didn't have to worry about wake up to alarm clock. The worry of money was gone. In other words, living life your own terms and be able to take care of be able to take care of the ones that you love and make an impact in the world. And I wanted that. I wanted to be free. Wanted to have that where I could live life on my own terms and yet still help out my friends and family if they need money. I say, hey, you need how much? I got you. Here you go. Hey, you need a place to stay? Here, I got you. Where I could help you because for a long time I had been helped by so many people, and I got to the point where it's like I'm not helping. I'm not borrowing money from anyone else. I'm not doing anything else because I've done that. I'm not doing it again. So at the same time, I want to hold myself to a higher standard of living and how I treat people and how I came off to people and getting help. Because I cut myself from my parents, all that. So basically, that's where I ended up joining Empower Network, and it's been a ride where I've had a lot of self growth, a lot of insight into who I am, deal with my insecurities as a person, and just figuring out more about what kind of life I'm gonna create, more importantly, who I want to be, how I want to show up to people, and not just having the results, but it being also I realized too being able to show other people how they can create what they want to, and be a positive impact in their life. That's the biggest change I've had. A lot of people come in this thing where they're like, I need money. We all did. I've been there. You've been there. But it takes a while when you stay in the game and you work on yourself, like getting rid of. I
Yeah,
used to have
yeah,
money from my mother and all that stuff. When you have that change, that shift, where you realize, okay, not so much about me, and it's not so much about the money, but it's about the people having a team. When you have the team with you and that friendship, you realize, you see things with a bigger picture, and that's one of the biggest changes I've had in this thing, and you have more confidence and realize that like, yeah, I can create you one. I can show you I can show you how to do the same thing, and keep it simple, not complicated, and realize that there is a better way to live life. You can have what you want. You can create. You do have the power. You just gotta believe in yourself. Even you have moments that you doubt yourself, you just gotta go in there and dig deep and find that like, yes, I'm a powerful person. I can do things. So a little bit of my story, where I've come from and how I've gotten here, is
that's
not too many people know about that.
no, that's fired up, man. Because actually, I didn't know the whole story either. And this is kind of the cool thing about this whole format because it kind of it allows people to just kind of. Like I was telling you before we started this, man. A lot of it's just it's you kind of just free flow. You know what I mean? Free flow and
Yeah.
just so obviously like you've had some pretty good success with Empower. The marketing aspect and we actually met through online marketing through another thing that we were involved in and
Yeah.
that's a whole other story for well actually I mean if people go to the team in the black site they can kind of figure out piecemeal together
Yeah, pretty much.
how we ended up hooking up and kind of just forming in the black but there's a yeah and what's cool about this is that basically like everybody yeah, and it was like you were saying, man. When people first get online, a lot of times when people first get online, it's because I need money. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much like what they want. It's like I need money. I need money. I need money yesterday. I needed money last month. I want to be a millionaire tomorrow. Whatever. And I think that's kind of why the attrition rate online is so high. I mean, and that's really with just like any entrepreneurial business because most people get into it because they come in with a more or less like a desperation mindset, to where
Yeah. A
they're
lack of
coming in
mentality.
with the it's a desperate mentality where it's like I need money, I need money, I need money. I don't know what I'm doing, but I see other people being successful in this, so I'm going to just kind of force it, and yeah.
Yeah.
And I know like when I first came in online, like it was kind of like the same situation where it was I started online marketing in a desperate kind of mindset. It was weird. It was a transitional kind of like something. It was just like something has to change, something has to be different. I can't be in the same situation this time next year, and I need money now. And yeah, I mean, luckily enough, like we did end up hooking up with some pretty amazing mentors and some pretty
Yeah.
awesome people that have taught us a ton of cool stuff, man. But I just know this, and for anybody watching this, man, like, listen, if you try to do this business with a desperate mindset, or and you want like instantaneous results, I got some really bad news for you, because this, if you treat your business like a business, and you realize it's kind of like, I was discussing this with Rocky, and actually I was having a discussion. I like to talk about this stuff because I think like marketing and sales and life in general is all. And we've had this conversation before, Matt. But
Yeah.
it's like everything you do is in life is sales, and it's like nobody wants to buy from somebody that's desperate. And realistically, you don't have to be the most successful person in the entire world, but you do have to kind of know exactly what you're talking about. You know what I mean? You have to be able to speak the language of people. Um, it's kind of like if you only speak English, if you only speak English and you go to China, you know what I mean. Like you're gonna have a hard time communicating with people, and it's like in order for you to be successful in any type of business, like you got to be able to speak business language. You know what I mean? And it's like
Yeah.
if you want to attract desperate people, speak desperation. You know what I mean? If you want to attract successful people, speak success. If you want to do
Success.
business, and it's like if you want to basically learn to market yourself the right way. You've got to be confident in your own skills and your own abilities and whatever, and just really have belief and faith that you're gonna be able to succeed. And it's kind of like it's the whole mentality of being all in. You know what I mean? Like you can be all in. It's going all in. You know what I'm saying? It's going all in mentally. It's going all in financially. It's going all in emotionally. You know what I mean? It's like it's what they were saying in Vegas, man. It's like the business has to be a part of you, as far as anything else. And I think your success has a lot to do with um, what you're willing to give. You know what I mean, and not just take from people. And I think a lot of times when people get into this, or just any business in general, you know what I mean, like they get stuck in the mindset of like, I need money, I need money, I need money, and they get caught into that kind of just bad marketing. You know what I mean? Bad marketing, hype marketing. Telling stories and just basically just saying whatever needs to be said to get that sale. But as soon as somebody sees through the smoke and mirrors, man, they're gone. And you're basically doing that thing over and over and over again. And what we've been fortunate enough to do is get the right training to where when people sign up with us, they don't leave. When people join the team, like actually, I mean, I think we've forced out more people for inaction and not doing anything than people actually wanted to. Because it's not like people run away from action takers. It's not like people run away from people that are actually giving value and providing great training. What they do shy away from are people that are constantly trying to get them to give them something.
Yeah.
Whereas like just and this is why this is cool, man. This is why I'm actually glad that I started doing this interview thing, because this for me, man, is just like, this is more of like because you like literally just got to tell a whole part of your story that I don't think you've ever told before. And this right here, this is going to be shared, and obviously you're going to use it for your marketing, and I'm going to use it for my blog, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's a win-win give kind of situation, where it's like when people kind of, and that's the beautiful thing about it, when you're marketing online, like you have to have that utter sheer transparency, because with social media and all this other stuff and just the internet in general, you can't really hide anything. You know what I mean? If people really wanted to, they could do all the research on anybody and everybody out there, and you could find anything and all information that you really wanted to. So if you're telling somebody a BS story, all they got to do is search you. You know what I mean? There are websites out there that they can find every single piece of information that you've ever, I mean, for everything, And hell, man, depending on how you got your Facebook and your cell phone set up, I mean, people could find out where the last place you ate was.
Pretty much, and that's
You know
kind of
what I mean?
scary.
So
I don't
so it,
post that stuff on social. I don't tell, hey, I'm at so and so right now eating so and so. If you want to kill me, I'm right here at so and so place with burgers. Hey,
but you know how many people do though? I mean, so many people are just so stuck in that
you
to
want
where
to
it's
rob
like,
me? I'm wasted right now taking shots
yeah,
from Mount Juhasz.
I'm sloshed at 3 a.m. in the morning. Come and see me.
Come and save me.
Come see me. Come, but it's true though. No, but it's weird though, man. And it's like, and once you kind of realize that, like you realize the real importance of being transparent and just kind of letting everybody know, like, this is who I am and this is what I'm doing. And this is actually, so now that we're playing on an equal level here, you know what I mean? Because I've got
Yeah.
nothing to hide, and you've got, and I've been through the struggles that you've been through, and I've done all this stuff, and I've actually, hell, my struggle may be very similar to yours. My struggle may be a little bit different than yours, but at the same time, it's like I've been there, I've done that, and actually I persevered through it, which I think is the main thing. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, like, when times get tough, most people, what do? They just they shut down.
Shut
They
down. You can't
they
do
shut
that.
down.
You have to keep going through. And the reason why I'll say this, the reason why people shut down is because they let the fear get in the way. They let the stress. But the other thing too is that, like, no one reads on a daily basis. No one listens to aisles on a daily basis. I swear to you, if you do just those two things, and everyone says, "Oh, I don't have time for reading." Yeah, you do. Make time for it. You know the thing
Yeah,
called the toilet? Yeah. Is
yeah.
this where you gotta go? Bring a book with you. Trust me. You really
Look,
gonna do it. You'll sit there for a lot longer. And here's the thing. Just read for 15 minutes. Just read for 15 minutes on there. That's all you gotta do. Okay? 15 minutes. But Matty D, I ain't got time for 15 minutes. Okay, fine. Read a page. One
right.
page will turn into two. Two turn to three. Three turn to four. Turn to five. Just start with something small. And then on a daily basis is easy. You pull in your phone. I have mine on my phone. So I have a car. So I have it on my phone. Everywhere I go. You can do it in your car, when you're home chilling, just 30 minutes. When you do that, you will have a huge shift. This goes back to my story. When I first lost my car, because I remember this moment too. I remember this day very clearly. This was the weekend where I had drill, full weekend of drill, all day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. At that time I was working a sales job, my venture company. For the first time ever, I was living at my dad's house too. First time ever, I was late. I didn't really tell my boss that this is my fault, and I got fired over the phone. Fired for the first time, and I was like, oh shit, this has never happened to me. I've always maintained employment. Luckily, though, that same day I went back to my prior job from part time. They hired me back around the spot. I still worked today, but I felt so defeated. Not defeated. I felt so small, insecure, and such like a loser. I was like, how can I have gotten fired? That's not who I am. It's not what I do. I'm so much better than that. I felt so. Ugh. But it gets better. So I got a drill weekend, and I tell all my friends there. I'm like, yeah, it happens. And this is around the time where I was driving around with expired tags, no insurance for like this. And this was the second time for 6 months or more. 6 months or more. That is illegal in the state of Maryland.
Oh yeah, it's illegal. It's illegal just about anywhere, actually. They
Except for New Hampshire. New Hampshire actually it's optional, but you pay a shit ton of money. So what happens is I remember parking my car on this main road because I couldn't park it in the neighborhood because it expired tag and the security officer was like, move it, it'll be towed. I'm like, screw you, so I moved anyway. But every day I would go out running. I will always check to see if there was a sticker that showed up, and I forgot about it. By the way, where you focus on, and it's true, be it it's a positive thing that makes you really good or negative, it will at some point come to fruition whether you want it to or not. This is an example of what happens when you focus on shit that you don't want, and oh crap, it happens. So remember this day. This is Monday. I'm running my car. I go down this hill. I was gone for like, I don't know, maybe an hour. I come back and I'm running. I'm running. I can see my car in the distance. I had a gray, like a silver gray Hyundai, 2002 at the time. This is 2011. And I'm looking at my car, and I can see this yellow sticker. And at first I was like, wait a minute, is that what I think? It was like, no. I was like, oh, please, no, 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 no. I'm running up to it. I get to it. It's a yellow sticker that says this car will be towed and next, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, holy shit, like, where am I moving my car? I started getting so pissed. And then it gets better. Behind my car was an undercover Jeep. The lights went on. It was a police officer. And I went, and he got out, and he was like, why are you getting pissed off? Why are you getting pissed off, man? Like, how many flags on this car? Do you have any insurance? I was like, No, sir. And I was calling. I was like, I don't have any insurance. I'm sorry. Here's my life. I'm backed up with student loans. I just got fired from a job. I had this. He goes, I understand. I feel your pain. I still gotta take your car, but I'll only charge you for towing. But but when you get out, you have to drive to someone's like um, garage on a private driveway, which I didn't know anyone. So I lost my car that day. I got fired the week prior, and I just felt like, could life get any worse? I wanted to cry so bad, but I didn't. So I was like, no, that's not gonna help anything. And the amount of embarrassment I had to go to my stepmom and my dad and say, by the way, not only did I move back in X months ago, not only did I get fired last week, but I just lost my car, which I don't have the money for to get back. So all the money that I would have paid just to get the tags put back on and trying to get insurance. And then before I get that, where am I gonna move it to? I have no one that knows that I know that has a driveway that's in a private house. Like, what do I do? So I let it go. But the turning point was, I was like, okay, is another turning point where I was like, I have to do something. Like, I cannot keep spiraling down and feeling like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm trying to be an entrepreneur, trying to do Amway, like, and yet everything financially is going to shit, just going to shit. And I'm just like, this sucks. I'm 20, 2011, 2015, 29, what, 20, 24, 25 at the time.
Right.
And I'm like, I felt like this is the shitty part of my life. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Like, and luckily at the time, my girlfriend at the time was like stupid supportive and understood it because her parents were entrepreneurs too. They had done MLM, so had that on my back. But I was like, what do I do with myself? So that's when I found out some other audios, some other CD called I got an ice. It came to me through like some Craigslist ads. Some guy called me up and sent me some free copy of like Your Wish Is Your Command by Kevin Trudeau. Totally changed my life. I listened to that repeatedly, and that was a time moment where I was like,
Wait, what
life
was it
sucks right
again?
now.
It was Your Wish Is Your Command.
Yeah, Your Wish Is Your Command. Okay, it's like 12 CDs, and I got the bootleg version. I listened to all of them, and that was the point where I was like, I need to hit personal development hard right now. That's when I started listening to personal development for like hours, reading books, and that helped me to reframe my situation at the time from a setback, which is set up to a comeback. I've been a comeback for a couple years, but when that moment hits, you have a moment. If you're watching, you all had a moment where you're just like, you hit rock bottom. You need to read and listen to something that says, yes, you've had a hard time. Yes, you're feeling out, but that doesn't mean you're a loser. It doesn't mean you're not awesome. It doesn't mean you're not a good person. It doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean that you are not a person that can create what you want. It doesn't mean that you can still be successful. It just means it's going to cause you to kind of step back a little bit and sit up for when you come back. When you do come back hard, fast, strong, and be like, hell yeah, I did it. And that's what started my journey on personal development. Like, and I went hard into like hours and hours and then like listening to stuff, do stuff when I was sleeping. And I was like, you know what? Social's not that bad. I can bounce back. Even though my dad was kind of freaking out, going like, when you leave the house, your debt clerk's calling you. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be okay. Didn't really talk to him much about it, but that was the point where I was like, I have to get this done. So yeah, to your point, that's when you listen to audios and shit because it'll help you with your life and change your mind, change your view. When you change that, then you'll be able to move forward and do something. Even if it's one small thing, when you finally realize that you can take control and you've done something, you feel 10 times better. You will look at things, you'll feel more relaxed, feel more powerful, more control, and then you'll just fucking do stuff. And you're
Right.
like, I'm going to do this, that's a period, I don't care. If you tell me I'm wrong, go ahead and tell me I'm wrong. I'll prove you wrong anyway. That's my story.
Right. No, that's great though, and I think the point that you said there, the really, and for you guys watching this, man, in case you missed it, it's like there's always a comeback. That's the whole thing. For every setback, there's always a comeback. And and I don't know, man. I think the best stories, generally speaking, always have like some of the most tragic parts in the story. It's like what made Braveheart such a great movie. It was a scene where they killed his wife. You know what I mean? And that just kind of like fireballed him into like this. It's like, screw that, we're taking down the English.
Yeah, yeah.
And You know what I mean? And as horrible and as heartbreaking as that scene was, man, that I think that tragic moment just kind of like set him off into really like figuring out what his power was. You know, because up until then he was kind of like just unattached to anything. He was like, I don't really want to get involved. It's not really my fight. You know, it's whatever. And I think what I don't know, man. I know this in what I've realized in life, and just with everything. It's always your fight. You know, when it has something to do with your life, it's always your fight. You know, and you can either be passive, you can either be like completely passive about your life, or you can be proactive. You know, you can be reactive or you can be proactive. You know what I mean? And the difference is really just like reactive is really just kind of like, why is this happening to me? I don't know. You know, you're just reacting to things, you know, compared to just being proactive to where it's like you're basically fully prepared for what's going to happen, and you're in a constant like control, you know what I mean? Like taking control, like forward progress kind of frame of mind compared to like just kind of sitting around waiting for things to happen. And I know with me and I believe and I know just from what I know about you, it's like think great things happen when you expect them to happen. You know what I mean? Great things happen and progress happens when you expect progress to happen, and when things just start kind of like rolling in the right direction, and when you actually start going out there and doing things that you're supposed to do, you know, just stuff comes back. You know what I mean? And comes back tenfold. You know, and it's a weird spin where it's like when you're just kind of sitting around waiting for things to happen, you miss so many opportunities because you're not actually. You know, it was an old thing that I heard of. It was just kind of like there's no such thing as luck. Like luck is basically when like opportunity meets preparation. You know what I mean? Like when you're actually fully prepared for the opportunity to present itself to you, you don't get lucky. You know what I mean? You happen to be there and you're prepared for the situation. You know, you don't kind of trip, stumble, and fall into success. You know, you're prepared for success, and like as you work for it and stuff like that, like it just kind of it happens for you, it happens with you, it happens to you, but you put the groundwork in and you put the foundation work in to basically for that when it actually does happen, you're ready for it. You know, and it's just kind of and that's just kind of the whole thing. It goes from the I was avoiding all my problems. You know, and my problems caught up to me, or it was just
Yeah.
like I was taking care of my business and success happened to me. You know, and it's weird, how the two things happen. And I know, like, you know, because we've known each other now for about a year,
Yeah.
and just seeing the progress and the transition in who, you know, Matt is. You know what I mean? Just in general. You know what I mean? From the guy that would make these like crazy tangent videos, which are so funny to watch. You know what I mean? But dude, have you ever? You know what I mean? But like, have you actually like went back and like watched some of your old videos?
Nah, dude, I've made so many at this point. I have no idea.
No, but
But
you really
yeah.
should. You should go back to like a year ago or like a year and a half ago when you were just like, and this is my Sunday rant. And dude, what the hell did it? You know what I mean? And then actually like see the difference in like who you are now. Because
Yeah.
like we're still the same people. You know what I mean? And we may not realize it, but you know, but other people do, or at least I realize it. You know what I mean? Just from knowing you this time and it's like who Matt was like a year ago with these like really crazy like blah 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 blah. Don't forget it, man. Blah, you know, man, dude. You know, to like to now where Matt's like, yeah, man, and you know, personal development and this and that, and you know,
Yeah, you have to. Everyone goes through the transition. Like for me, it was a matter of like figuring out who my audience was instead of just making a video just for like thinking it was being productive and hoping to get like likes and comments and shares. But when you make it purposeful to a point and speak to your audience, you were like, oh, this makes more sense now. What can I do a video on? This is what I'm gonna say. So like my audience now is with like talking to all the veterans and the Marines. And so now for me it's like I can talk about that. I talk about veteran entrepreneurship. And what I'll do now I can bridge the gap between veterans and trying to do a home-based business. And sometimes what I've done, videos where it ties into like a life lesson that involves being a veteran, being an entrepreneur, being in a network marketing niche, all that, because it's a lesson that applies to everybody. And I've done it in the Google Plus groups, and everyone's like, "Dude, that's great, awesome lesson, good post." You know, if I'll do now because now on my blog I start doing what's called Monday motivation. I'll post in the groups for the veterans, man. Like they get off to that stuff because like being a veteran, being in the military, you're taught to do whatever it takes to get stuff done and you like to watch stuff about working out, things that motivate you, and that applies to being an entrepreneur, being a veteran entrepreneur.
Right.
There's a connection right there.
They definitely
So
definitely tie in hand
because
in hand.
yeah, I'm very spiritual still, so I do now. It's like if I do something on a lesson of life, I'm like, what's the connection? How can I bridge the gap? And then, but I still will do things strictly on some internet marketing, put in a different category. But when I do post anything now it's like, all right, I post this, what group and how's it going to speak to them? So yeah, there's been a difference. So that's one thing about knowing your target market, not just making something and hoping that hopefully gets views. It's not. I mean, who are you speaking to? What value set? What's the level of awareness? Things like that.
Right. So why are you so passionate about helping veterans?
That's a good question, man. Well, one reason I won't share right now, but I've always been passionate about it since I was in like high school. As far as the military's been my family. My dad was a military brat. My grandfather was in the Air Force. And then my uncle Lucian, great uncle Lucian, he was in the Air Force too. My uncle Aaron was in the Air Force. So we're definitely in the military. I'm the only Marine. I'm the first one. And I remember my dad in high school, like when I first got in high school, I think before, yeah, it was in high school. My dad said, "Matt, you should look at the military because they can help pay for school." I was like, no, I don't want to be a grunt. I don't want to go out there and fight. Whatever war happens, 4 years later, I don't want to do that. But I did know that for whatever reason, I've always been real passionate about the fact that we tell people to go out and fight for wars, which I believe are spot on false reasoning. And besides that, the fact that what really fired me up was that we would send people over to another country, fight overseas, and when they come back, our country, our government drops the ball. They'll fix you up physically, but mentally, they're like, nah, pardon language, but the everyone's like, go fuck yourself. And it's not right to do that to someone that has been through so much, been overseas, come back, they have like PTSD, PDS, they see their friends get blown up, they see things, and to not give them the care and treatment that they need physically and more importantly mentally. And that's why you have homeless vets, that's why you have vets that abuse alcohol, that's why you have veterans that end beating their wives and stuff because they're so screwed up on the inside from what they saw, they can't deal with it, they don't know how to deal with it in a more positive, constructive way. And to me, that just fires me up because how can you do that to someone, man? Like, and then me being a veteran myself, luckily I was never deployed anywhere. I never take credit for that. Anyone is a veteran, anyone that's a veteran that's watching this, you get women credit, for being deployed. To me, it blows my mind just how sick a world can be, or country, and people and power can be that we, supposedly elect and everything else. That they can just send people over there, but they won't send their own sons and daughters, ironically, and we just let the ball drop. We support veterans. I get a lot of support from family and friends. There's also lack of understanding, and like I feel like right now I could be like a voice for that to help bring the issues and help heal the community. There's a lot of healing needs to be done, and I know something that really bothers me. You just can't do to someone where they come back and their life's changed, or if they lose some legs. Man, I've seen people with no legs, screwed up faces, people that come back that like, yeah, I remember one mass sergeant. I was in training a couple years ago. He was in the first Iraq War, the Gulf War. This was like 2008 when I went over there to MS school, and he was saying like, yeah, I'm still in the therapy for stuff that happened in the first Iraq War. That was in 2008. The first Iraq War was in what, like the mid 90s or something.
Yeah.
That's like almost 15 years later, and you're still going to counseling for something that happened back then. Something is wrong. Very, 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 very wrong. And I repeat myself, but like it bothers the shit out of me why this happens, and it's just not right to do that to people. And the funny thing is, we're a group that won't say much. We won't complain. We won't say things. We won't. So we'll bite our tongues. Then we have someone that actually voices your opinion. You get a lot of praise for that.
Yeah.
Veterans, we can't say much because then it looks bad on us. But like, there's a lot of hurt and anger amongst the country. So it's almost like we're a group that unnecessarily suffers in silence because we're so loyal and faithful. But someone's got to take a stand, and it's time to like, it's part of what I do. It's to help show the veterans and Marines that like, you don't have to live life the way you do. You don't have to depend on the government. If you don't have a pension, you can create what you want. You can, more importantly, like heal yourself and heal your wounds. So that way you can live a normal life and just feel relaxed and feel like you're safe and feel that there's someone out there who understands you and this group and can, relate to you in some level instead of feeling like you're an outsider and no one gets you.
Yeah.
Which leads to another point with being a veteran entrepreneur. We're more like we think we are because we're both in two groups of people that are different from the masses. Whereas a veteran, I'll wear like my dog tags, or I've seen guys that I do the knife hand thing. People ask me, what's this knife hand? What's this? And why do you stand parade dress? And why do you do this? And why do you have this? And why do you wear this? It's like, it's a habit. It's where I come from. I have some pride in it. A lot of people don't understand why veterans do what they do, so it's a habit. Likewise, being entrepreneurs, you and I know, people look at you like, why are you doing this business? It's a scam. Why are you reading daily basis? Why isn't audios? Why are you going to these events? Are they just that motivational rah crap? Again, a lack of understanding from people that don't understand what we do.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's like we do what we do because we're driven by different standards than what most people are. We have a higher standard. We hold ourselves to higher standards, and more importantly, like both groups are trained to go after what they want, to get the job done, and not run from what they don't want. They're taught to go after to get the job done, go for a goal.
Pretty much. Yeah, no,
I don't know how to end that.
no, that was great, man. Because I know from personal experience. I mean, I've never actually been in the military, but my youngest brother, I mean, he's still in the Marine Corps, and I mean, he deployed twice, and I know that like basically when he came back, he was he and he was infantry, artillery, recon, intel, and when he got back to civilian life, the best job that he could find was he was an assistant manager at a gas station. And that to me was an utter smack in the face because I mean he was incredibly smart, incredibly talented. You know what I mean? Just stand up guy. You know what I mean? I mean obviously like stand up guy, and he did all of his service and he did everything, but because he for whatever reason, what I mean, and I think it may have had something to do with the economy at the time. He came back and he was working as an assistant manager at the night shift in a gas station for almost a year and a half. Until because yeah, and the benefit is yes, the military does pay for school and stuff like that or whatever. So I mean, 3, 4, 5 years later now, I'm actually flying up to Chicago, I think in May for his graduation. I mean, he just got his degree, and he's got a good job now or whatever. But you're talking like 4 or 5 years after the fact, whereas in the beginning, I mean, he did all this deployment work. He did all this
shit.
I mean, and I mean,
I have a degree.
Yeah,
I've been to war. I've been shot at. I've killed people.
No, dude,
I've had to leave people under stress.
He's got. I went to my first Marine Corps ball after he got back, and it was nuts, man. And I got to meet his whole unit, and and it was really crazy because some of these guys ended up really bad depression, really whatever. I mean, a couple of guys died in like alcohol based like accidents and stuff. But he was basically he was a valet car guy for a hotel part time, and he was like a full time part time like assistant manager at a gas station, which in my mind, man, is just that's not that's not what should be happening. And in all actuality, I mean, I applaud you for wanting to help veterans because realistically, it is a problem. You know what I mean? It is a problem in the country. It is a problem with the way we, once again, it's selling the hype, in the beginning, and then it's like, where's the follow up? And I'm not going to knock anybody for their service or anything like that, man. But I will knock the system for the way that they treat people after after the contract's over. Because
Oh, dude, there's such a lack of transition from being in the military to being in the civilian world and telling them how to sell your skills you earn. Because true story, my personal banker, another Marine, he's in reserves, he's in security forces. He got turned down for a job, higher level job within Wells Fargo because as the person who's making the decisioning said he didn't have any management experience in banking. That's where they got him. But however, he'd been deployed. He had management and leadership skills of leading I think over 30 Marines, like in combat, being in charge and stuff, being responsible for people's lives. These are
for the lives of
husbands,
people,
wives, daughters,
yeah.
sons. These are actual people's lives. So you have management leadership with war and death. This other guy had management with banking. No one dies. No real stress of like, and then make mistakes. But because the other guy had experience with banking, he got shut down. And here's where it gets screwed up. The guy's name the guy's name is John. He told the supervisor. He said, "You do realize you're gonna regret making a decision." And the supervisor is stupid and said, "Yeah, you're right. I will regret this." I'm like, so your brother and him in the same spot. They come from all this experience. Since you don't have a degree, again, people with this whole degree thing, have a degree, you have all experience, we can only offer you this. It's like, no, that's
No,
not the case. No,
no.
no, 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 no. Sorry, if someone fights for my life and goes through a whole bunch of hell and stuff, and I'm like, hey, you have way more experience than someone who studied has a piece of paper and most likely does not have the real life experience or better yet, specialized knowledge what to do in stressful situations, gets the job, but this guy has extra experience.
Yeah.
Like, where's the stupid? Sorry. So this is why I need to be entrepreneurs, man. And this is another thing. Like, us as veterans have a better shot at being successful at being entrepreneurs than most people because we're taught to do whatever it takes to get the job done and work hard. We have the ethic, the work ethic, the discipline to get stuff done. Versus someone else who's coming from a job mentality. It's like, it doesn't make sense of like this is why you need to be able to control your own destiny and learn that like you have skills that you can create what you want. For being in the military, you can take those skills and create a business, start doing what you want to do, versus having to depend on someone to give you a job and then like, well, I know you went through war and hell and shit, but I can give you assistant manager. You have experience leading Marines and you had their lives on the line and I know you went through hell, but since you have managed experience in banking, I have to go be with their guy.
Do that for you. Yeah. No, and dude, honestly, like I applaud you for wanting to help.
You can tell I'm fired up from this shit.
No, but you see how great this whole format is because realistically, I think we found the inner core of like why Matt wants to help people, and I really applaud you like wanting to basically like in a sense to where it's like wanting to help veterans because I've never and it's we've had this discussion before, man. I never went to war. You know what I mean? I never wore stripes. I never I never went to boot camp. I never enlisted. I was way too much of a stoner at the time to yeah, I really was, man. I was partying way too hard and smoking way too much pot to even like think of doing anything like that when when that whole thing went down, man. And I applaud anybody that actually like enlisted and went through it, whether it was like circumstantial or voluntary. And and yeah, man, but I know this like from a fact because it is blood, you know what I mean? And what happens to most veterans when they get out, man, is like they just get shit on, and it's unfortunate because everything that they learned, everything that they were taught, everything that has been basically like that they've been more or less like trained to do, in functional society may not be acceptable, but in an entrepreneurial world, it's exactly what you need to succeed. It really is. It's exactly what you need to succeed because you are, and I'm not going to say that like business in itself is a war zone or is a battle zone, but you do have to think on your feet and you do have to be prepared for anything, and you do have to basically take all of your knowledge and all of your skills and be ready to go at any given time. And when you are basically trained and you're taught to and your entire life becomes like, hey man, I'm ready to go at the drop of a dime, no matter what.
Yeah.
If you apply that same work ethic and that same mentality to a business for yourself, I mean, look at Mike Hobbs, man. You know what I mean? Look at there are a few other people that are insanely successful because they apply the same work ethic that they had in the military to their business. And instead of just coming back home and getting a job or hoping to get a job or wanting to conform back to what they were before, because I think that's part of it, man. I think a lot of times when people come home and they just want to go back to being normal,
Yeah.
which is almost impossible. You know what I mean? And it's like once you kind of accept that, it's like when I first got into like, because I've been running my own business out for over 10 years, man. And it's just like for me to actually go back in the mindset of just like I'm just gonna go get a job. That's insane for me. Like I'm a horrible employee. I was a horrible employee before, but now after running my own business and doing everything else, man, I don't think I could ever go back to working for somebody else ever again because it's just it's almost like a smack in the face. You know what I mean? That would literally be me giving up on anything and everything. You know what I mean? Like the only thing
Yeah.
I think I would ever go back to doing, I would want to be a teacher, and that's about it. And I'd want to teach high school kids and get them prepared for real life. Because
Yeah.
I think that right there would be the toughest thing in the entire world. But I would do it literally. I would do it as I would be the craziest teacher in the entire world because I would just lay it all on the line for him, man. I was like, listen, man, if you guys don't know what you want to do, don't go to college. You know what I mean? Learn a trade, learn something, get into business, and start making money for yourself. Because here are the stats, here are the figures, here are the numbers. All this other stuff that they're teaching you is BS. Unless you're going to be a doctor, unless you're going to be a lawyer, unless you're getting into something that's a very small percentage of people actually succeed in. And me and Newton were talking about this before, man. It's like most people when they go into school, like I think the stats are like 93% of the people that actually graduate from college, um, never actually get a job in the field that they got their degree in. So like literally, I think it's like roughly like 7-10% of the people out there that actually graduate like get a job in the field that they went to school for. Whereas most people just go to school because they're told to go to school, they have that piece of paper, and then they go get a job, and then and then a couple of years down the line they get laid off, they get
Yeah.
downsized, their position gets outsourced or something, and now they're back to square one. But now they've got all this debt and they've got all this other stuff, and I mean, it, let's just put it this way, man. Like guys, for those of you guys that are watching this, man, and like literally, um, because I can go off on a whole tangent about this, dude. This is something that I'm really fired up on too, because literally it's like you got to change the way you think. You know what I mean? You got to change the way you think. The system is screwed up. The educational system is screwed up. The way and once you know and once you realize it, there is a way to I don't want to say beat the system, but there is a way to work the system to make it work for you. And once you realize what's out there and what opportunities are out there and what the abilities are for you to actually do things, you don't have to be stuck. You know what I mean? You don't have to feel stuck. You don't have to feel like you're like and here's the other thing though too, man. Your past and I think this is going to tie in nicely to the beginning of this. Your past does not dictate your future
No, it is not.
because we've all made mistakes. You know what I mean? We've all been in situations to where we're in debt or we're this or that. We're feeling like the biggest piece of shit in our entire lives. And I mean, I know I've been there, done that, been there numerous times, man, to where I was just like, what's wrong with me? Or not
Yeah.
even so much like what's wrong with me, but it's like, what is, fuck everything. Literally, it's like,
Why is he messing up? Why is this gonna? What is wrong with me? I'm not doing anything wrong. Let's see
yeah,
my dad's house.
yeah,
Shit.
but what you realize is that like you're not actually doing anything. Period. You know what I mean? It's not that you're
Yeah,
not
and then you're like, I'm not
wrong.
doing anything at all. I'm making it worse, but not doing shit.
Yeah, it's not.
There's
It's not
always
that I'm
an
not doing
issue.
anything. It's not that I'm not doing anything wrong. It's just that I'm not doing anything. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
yeah, and once again, it's like once you kind of step into your own power, and once you kind of realize like what you're able to do, and what you're able to really just kind of to just transform, to excel and grow in life, man. That's when you really realize your power, and that's when you really like can get into. just your own success, and you start writing your own story rather than being a part of somebody else's. So anyway, yeah, I think we can kind of ramble on about this, and just because the more I talk about this, the more fired up I get. But
Yeah,
so Matt, for
too.
anybody that wants to get in contact with you, because how would they go about that? How would they go about getting in touch with Matt Dillingham?
Well, find me on Facebook, which you can
Okay.
connect me on. Actually, best way to do it, go to my blog, MatthewDillingham.com, and you'll see an icon torn on the right side says connect me on Facebook. Click on that link, shoot me a message, shoot me a friend request, email me at matt.dillingham02@gmail.com. Again, that's matt.dillingham02@gmail.com. Shoot me an email, connect me on Facebook. Especially if you're another veteran, you're thinking about doing an entrepreneurial route, or you are an entrepreneurial veteran yourself and you want to learn how to market online, build a business online, both. I mean, this is what I do, is what Max does, is we are a team in the black, meaning to get your business in black, meaning we help aspiring entrepreneurs such as yourself create a profitable business online and get your life in the black. This way you can have more abundance, more of what you want. I know what you want. It's what we all want. You're probably thinking like, wait, you know who I am, you know what I want. Yeah, I do. You want change. If you didn't want change, you would not be watching, especially all the way through to the end. That's what you want. You want change. And that's something that we can help show you how to do. That being said, get in the black.
Get the black. So guys, you can find Matt. It's MatthewDillingham.com. And I just know this. Matt's been over the last year. Matt's become a very close friend of mine, and an awesome teammate and leadership council and everything else. And just through him, I've actually been able to meet a lot of the leaders and mentors that have helped me, really hit some of the major breakthroughs in my business and everything else. And I owe a lot to Matt. So this is kind of like my I don't
Well,
want to say like pay it back, pay it forward thing, but you know what I mean. We all
yeah,
kind of brainstorm together. And for those of you guys, like whether you're watching this or whether you're watching, you know what I mean, and Matt shot you this or I shot you this or whatever, this is kind of what we do, and this is who we are. You know what I mean? And that's the real beauty about this is like I don't try to be, this super big shot, big shit guru that I'm not. I have an offline business that makes a shit ton of money. I have an online business that makes money. And what's funny is I got into online business to get away from my offline business because I got tired of working 80 plus hours a week and never seeing my family.
jeez.
You know what I mean? Because I got three fantastic kids. I got a beautiful wife, and I was never seeing them. You know what I mean? I was never ever like my kids would. I'd get home. I'd leave my house at 6 in the morning. I'd be getting home at 7:30 at night, 5, 6 days a week, 7 days a week sometimes. And my kids go to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock because they got school. That would give me about an hour a day to spend with my kids. And I don't know if you've ever worked, a 12-hour, 13-hour day on a daily basis. The last thing you want to do is get bombarded. Hey, daddy, 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 daddy. I was just like, oh my god, I can't do this anymore. You know what I mean? So I got into online, and it's been the best decision I ever made. You know what I mean? And once again, I knew it wasn't going to be an overnight thing. I knew I was going to have to put in work. But once I got serious about it, once I basically started treating my online business like a business, I've been able to attract and connect with some amazing people, and and we're getting some pretty amazing results here. Because this is a live thing. I'm not gonna pop in a bunch of back office, commission things or whatever. But just
Right.
realize, like, you know, there's a lot of opportunity out there. So if you want to connect with Matt, it's MatthewDillingham.com. And I just want to say thanks, Matt. And this
Thank
is
you,
Max
Max.
Juhasz from thatbloggingthing.com. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got a lot of great information about that. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the thing, whatever. And if you want to seriously start making some money, connect with me, connect with Matt, and we'll help you. All right? All right. Peace out.
Peace.
Enjoy it. Thanks.